Over the past 7 years, I've spent over 70 million US dollars to generate over 150 million US dollars for my clients. During this time, I've personally looked at and diagnosed thousands of ad campaigns, from ad accounts spending millions per month to fresh ad accounts with no data and not even a pixel setup. And because of all this experience, I've developed a playbook that allows me to take a look at an ad account and figure out what needs to be done within just minutes. Because the truth is, if you don't know how to measure your results with a quantifiable number or metric or yes or no, then you're not going to be able to compound those learnings over time and drive your business success forward. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that profitably. So by the end, you'll be able to start scaling your ad spend with confidence. Today, we're going to cover the why first, the how second, and the what last. Now, let's first talk about why we should be analyzing the performance of our ads.
Here's an actual live example of looking at some metrics in Ads Manager with the custom columns and being able to decipher some data based on that. We have 4 different ads here that are all housed within the same ad set, and we very clearly have one winner. Now, this is for the month of June of 2024. So if we expand the timeline, you'll see that the algorithm barely gave any spend towards all of these other variations. And look, sometimes that's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to have an ad that is very clear, by far and away the winner. And that's the ad that you want to be putting most of your resources into anyways, because Facebook is telling you that it has the highest estimated action rate. Obviously, it's very profitable for the business. 2.46 return on ad spend is fantastic. Almost $25,000 of total attributed revenue, only $10,000 of spend, which is incredible. We scroll over to the right, we can see attention and retention score. Attention score is your thumb stop or your scroll stopping power. This is measuring how well your ad is doing at stopping the scroll of a user within the placement. And typically you want to shoot for 40%. So this ad has a 32% thumb stop or attention score, which means that there's definitely room to even improve this ad further, even though it's already doing an excellent job at converting users and doing that at a profitable rate. And so if I were to make some iterations off of this winning ad, I would definitely take a look at the hook and see if we can make some improvements there. Then you can see the engaged retention. So basically this is going to tell us where in the video users are dropping off the most. There's 25,000 users of the total amount of video plays that are watching to the 25th percentile. There's 11,000 users that are rounded roughly to the 50% playtime percentile, which means we actually lost 15,000 users from 25% to 50%. So maybe that's something we want to take a look at. Then we go over to CPMs, $17 CPMs. That's insane, incredibly powerful. This tells me that this ad is an amazing benefit to the algorithm and to the user experience of those that are actually viewing the ad. It's keeping users happy and engaged on the platform, and therefore Meta is giving us a very reduced rate from a cost per 1,000 impression basis. And therefore cost per click and click-through rate, while not particularly amazing, again, it's the link click-through rate, so just plain CTR will look a lot better than this. These numbers don't need to be incredible because our CPMs are so cheap. Now we'll get over to frequency, which is a really important one to take a look at as well. You'll see it's at 1.39, which means that on average, a user has seen this ad 1.4 times within the lifespan of the ad. If instead we take a look at a last 7-day window, and then we use the breakdown, and then we go to day, we can actually see what the frequency is. So on any given day, a user will have seen our ad on average 1.04 times. And anything at 1.2 or below on a day per day basis means that this ad is actually a top of funnel ad. So we really do have a golden goose here. Not only is this ad performing exceptionally well within its placements, as seen by the CPM, it's actually gotten better over time with more spend and more data, but it's doing a very good job at driving profitable conversions to users that have never seen or heard about our business before, which is the ultimate combination that we want to look for. This is a pretty simple diagram, and it showcases showcases all of the possible outcomes that we can have after we launch a new creative test. We have acquired learnings, meaning that we launch a new creative test, we got some learnings, maybe we understand something that we didn't before, and we lose money off of that. So that's putting in $1,000 and losing 500. The learnings that you acquire from a test like this inform future creative tests, and so the cycle continues. Option number 2 is excellent. We make money. So that's typically with an asset that we are scaling and we're just printing money and it's a winning creative for our account. What do we do here? We duplicate it and we scale. The third option, we acquire creative learnings and we make money. So this is the best of both worlds. Over here, we're just making money. We don't have any learnings to really build off of, but over here, we do have those learnings, which means, again, similar to when we lost money, we can use those creative learnings to inform future tests, bringing it back to a new creative test to hopefully make more money and acquire more learnings. And then we additionally have the option and the ability to duplicate and scale the asset, similar to what we did when we had an asset that just made us money. Now, the key here is that you're never going to be able to get to this green area unless you have systems in place to properly analyze the data, whether that means you're the one that's going in and figuring things out, whether you hire someone to do it, or whether you follow a SOP or process that is already laid out from someone that's been doing it for a long time. This is the general feedback loop that I use when I'm analyzing my own creative tests in my own ad accounts, and it's worked exceptionally well because month 1 or month 2 might not be super profitable, but over time we acquire those learnings, we build a database of things that do and don't work, and eventually we start eliminating the things that don't work and we start putting more tests into the ad account for variables that do work, and eventually you'll have ads that do make you money. Let's talk about metrics here for a second. So there's 3 different groups of metrics. There's your core metrics, there's your stickiness metrics, and then there's your vanity metrics. Your core metrics are going to be your things like return on ad spend, your customer acquisition cost, your cost per lead, cost per app install. These are the metrics that are going to directly tell you whether or not you are making money with your ads. And so that's why they're considered the core metrics, because everything else revolves around them. You have your stickiness metrics, which are typically used to give you some information as to how your ads are working within the algorithm. How are users responding to your ads? So examples of this could be thumb stop rate, which measures the scroll stopping power of your ads. Engaged retention, which allows you to see by timestamp where users are dropping off in your video creative. CPM, which measures the user experience. Are your ads providing a positive or negative user experience? And frequency, which measures basically where the ad is in your funnel. Is it top of funnel, middle of funnel, or bottom of funnel? If you're running broad targeting, using frequency as the metric to determine that. And then lastly, we have our vanity metrics, which this might be controversial here, but allow me to explain. The main issue that I have with metrics like click-through rate and cost per click isn't that they're entirely useless. But if you think about how Facebook is designed, it's an intent-driving platform, and not all intent is created equal. Same thing with leads. So if you've ever run a business where your primary KPI is cost per lead or cost per booked call, you'll know that not every lead and not every call is going to be of the same quality. And the same thing goes with metrics like click-through rate and cost per click. The only difference is that it doesn't just apply to you if you're running lead generation, but it applies to every single business objective and every single offer you can run with Facebook ads. Yes, you can have a very high click-through rate, you can have a very low cost per click, but that doesn't necessarily mean that traffic is super qualified to go ahead and make a purchase with your business. Because if you're watching this video, my intuition here is that you actually want to make money with your ads by driving quality intent, not just sheer volume. And then lastly, quality score. Look, I use CPM to measure my user experience. I really don't care about quality score, and so for the most part, vanity metric. Now, diving a little bit deeper into some of the stickiness metrics, I wanted to go through exactly why I use the metrics that I do. So thumb stop, which is going to be 3-second video views divided by impressions, that's going to measure our scroll stopping power. How well is our ad performing in placements to stop the scroll of the end user and get them to pay attention to whatever it is that we're trying to sell. We want to aim to 40% plus for this for all video creative. Engaged retention allows us to see where users are dropping off. So you'll be able to see 25, 50, 75, and 95% engaged retention. And if you see a big decline within one of those gaps compared to the control in your ad account or the average ad in your ad account that's doing well, you'll see and you'll be able to tell, hey, what did we put in the video during this period of time that users stopped paying attention? You'll be able to switch those variables out and you'll be able to have better performance as a result. CPMs essentially give us an indication as to whether or not our ads are working with Facebook and Meta to propagate their business objective along with ours, or if they're causing users to click off and not spend as much time on the platform. Meta will always give us a CPM hike if our ads are causing users to click off the platform and not spend as much time, and Meta will always give us a CPM decrease if our ads are creating good user experiences and users are staying on the platform and spending more time and therefore are available to be served more ad inventory. And then lastly, frequency here. Frequency will tell us again where users are in the funnel. So frequency of 1.1 is a top of funnel ad. Over the last 7 days, you can use the breakdowns inside Ads Manager and see day by day what the frequency is. And if it's like 1.2, 1.1, that's a top of funnel ad. It's reaching net new users, which is awesome. If the frequency is 1.2 to like 1.5, that's a middle of funnel ad. And anything 1.5 and above is a bottom of funnel ad where our ads are actually retargeting, which is why I always say broad targeting actually does retargeting for us. We don't need a custom campaign with custom audiences anymore. That's just not how the algorithm works these days.
That said, analyzing your ads is only as effective as creative testing is in your ad account. Click here to figure out how you can develop and test ad creatives so that you never have to worry about ideas ever again. And I'll see you in the next one.